Hello there, lovely good evening and welcome to Camnet TV main news. Today, the 20th of November in the year 2024. Let's take a look at the headlines. Fugitive PETAUKE Central Independent Member of Parliament Emmanuel BANDA cornered in Zimbabwe. Court grants former First Lady Esther LUNGU TASILA leave to appeal property forfeiture. 38 undocumented Ethiopians nabbed. In international news, Ugandan opposition politician kidnapped and jailed, says his wife. And in sports, Grand salutes victorious CHIPOLOPOLO. Join me for these and many more stories after this break.
Get all the latest updates in court news only on Camnet TV. We take you and make you feel part of the court sessions through our in-depth coverage of the adjudication process. Get informed on those who have been arrested, delayed and denied the police bond or bail victims, persons taking plea, court adjournments, verdicts, and those administration issues in the judiciary. Camnet TV is on channel 274 on DSTV, channel 25 on GoTV, and find us on channel 106 on Topstar. And find us on channel 106 on Topstar. You can also follow and give us a like on our social media platforms. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
To our vacationists, our first-time travelers, vacationists, our first-time travelers, our business travelers, our business travelers, our frequent flyers, our passionate scholars, the adventurers, the honeymooners. We welcome all our prestigious travelers. Thank you for flying Rwanda. Rwanda, fly the dream of Africa.
To present the Camnet TV main news in detail, I'm Tapelo Joe Smata. Authorities in Zimbabwe have apprehended fugitive PETAUKE Central Member of Parliament Emmanuel BANDA. Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security Jack Mwimbu said Mr. BANDA was found yesterday in a rented apartment in Zimbabwe's capital Harare, where he was apprehended around 10 hours. Mr. Mwimbu stated that Mr. BANDA will remain in the custody of Zimbabwean authorities until extradition arrangements are finalized. He also dismissed social media reports suggesting that Mr. BANDA voluntarily surrendered himself to the police. This follows a 7-day ultimatum issued by the Speaker of the National Assembly, Nelly Muti, for Mr. BANDA to present himself to Parliament or lose his seat. Mr. BANDA is facing charges of aggravated robbery, attempted murder, and escaping from lawful custody. He escaped from Chipata Central Hospital on Sunday, August 5th, 2024, around 22 hours where he was receiving treatment. Meanwhile, Mr. Mwimbu has warned members of the opposition against peddling falsehoods and that those who
Zimbabwe on the 19th of November. Following his alleged abduction earlier this year, many questioned his disappearance, with assertions alleging that government was involved in his abduction. Eventually, he was heavily guarded but managed to issue a 2 million bounty for anyone who would assist in the search of Mr. BANDA. In the early hours of Wednesday, social media was flooded with reports that Emmanuel BANDA was allegedly apprehended in Zimbabwe, and confirming the reports, Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security Jack Mwimbu this afternoon disclosed that Mr. Emmanuel BANDA was apprehended by the Zimbabwean government on Tuesday around 10 hours in a rented apartment.
That Honorable BANDA, who escaped from lawful custody at Chipata General Hospital on the night of 4th August 2024 has been apprehended in Zimbabwe. Subsequent information following his escape indicated that Honorable Banda was renting a flat in Harare. This information was promptly communicated to relevant Zimbabwean authorities, who through their cooperation managed to apprehend Honorable Banda yesterday, the 19th of November 2024, around 10 hours.
Mr. Mwimbu expressed displeasure at the remarks made by opposition leaders over the JJ Banda escape, stating that remarks by Patriotic Front officials suggest that they assisted Mr. Banda's escape. The minister also said Mr. Banda will remain in Zimbabwe till extradition proceedings are completed and will be in the country soon.
Those statements, members of the press and the general citizenry, implies that there are individuals in this country who have been abetting the escape of Honorable JJ Banda, and that these individuals have been aware of the whereabouts of JJ Banda. The statements that are coming from the opposition Patriotic Front entails that they have been working together with the fugitive JJ.
Cherish Sibote, for Camnet News, the Saka.
Political analyst Alex Ngoma has urged Parliament to handle PETAUKE Central Member of Parliament Emmanuel J. Banda's absence from the House within the confines of the law. Mr. Ngoma said in an interview that he expects Speaker of the National Assembly, Nelly Muti, to make rulings based on existing laws. He says there is no certainty on whether the 7-day ultimatum given to Mr. Banda to present himself before the House is provided for in any law, which has raised questions on its legality. Mr. Ngoma says Parliament should not ignore the circumstances surrounding Mr. Banda's absence from the House.
The Speaker not to do or say anything outside the law. If what she is saying is what the law says, so be it. But if it is not, I'm afraid it is important for all of us to demand from the Speaker that she actually looks to the law to be guided on what to do in such matters. It is clear not legal. If it is legal, then so be it. If it's illegal, I'm afraid the Speaker should not do that. And also, I've heard a statement, which is a statement from the news diggers, which is saying that a JJ has been found in Zimbabwe. I don't know whether that is true or not, I can't confirm. But if he is found and is brought back into Zambia, then I think those that are in charge of enforcing the law at Parliament should not pretend that they don't know the circumstances that surround this man. It is important for them really to be empathetic and to do what must be done in a situation of this nature.
Court news now takes us to Ndola, where the Court of Appeal sitting in Ndola has granted former First Lady Esther Lungu and her daughter TASILA leave to appeal against the forfeiture of their properties by the Economic and Financial Crimes Court. Court of Appeal Judge Kelvin Mzenga ruled that the grounds of appeal filed by Mrs. Lungu's lawyers have merit and reasonable prospects of success. In a separate ruling, Judge Chalwe Mchenga granted TASILA Lungu similar permission to appeal against the forfeiture of her 600-acre farm in Sinda district. This follows the November 8, 2024 decision by the Economic and Financial Crimes Court to deny Mrs. Lungu permission to appeal the forfeiture of her 15 double-story flats in Palabana, Chongwe district. The flats were deemed proceeds of crime, and the court found no compelling reasons to allow Mrs. Lungu's appeal at the time. Similarly, on November 10, 2024, High Court Judge Pixie Yangailo, sitting in the Economic and Financial Crimes Court, denied Ms. Lungu's request to appeal the forfeiture of her cinder farm, valued at 8.8 million kwacha. The court stated that the grounds presented did not demonstrate a strong prospect of success. Commenting on the development, Charles Changano, the lawyer representing the former First Lady, said Mrs. Lungu has 30 days to file her appeal, while TASILA is supposed to do so in 14 days. Details in the following report.
The former First family remains at the center of corruption-related legal battles, facing scrutiny both in court and in the public eye. At the heart of these cases are 15 double-story flats in Palavana, Chongo district, valued at over 41.5 million kwacha, whose forfeiture to the state former First Lady Esther Lungu now seeks to challenge. On September 27, 2024, judges Pixie Yangailo, Vincent Siloka, and Ian Mabolobolo ruled that the flats be forfeited under non-conviction-based forfeiture laws. The court determined that Mrs. Lungu had failed to prove her financial capacity to own the properties, placing the burden of proof on her rather than the state. On November 8, 2024, the Economic and Financial Crimes Court rejected Mrs. Lungu's initial request for permission to appeal, citing insufficient grounds. This prompted our legal team to turn to the Court of Appeal for intervention. In the turn of event, the Court of Appeal, sitting in Ndola, has now granted Mrs. Lungu 30 days to challenge the earlier judgment. Court of Appeal Judge Kelvin Muzenga ruled that her grounds of appeal hold merit and reasonable prospects of success. Similarly, in a separate ruling, Court of Appeal Judge Charlie Muzenga granted Chauma Member of Parliament Tasila Lungu permission to appeal the forfeiture of a 614 hectares cinder farm valued at over 8.8 million kwacha. This comes after the Economic and Financial Crimes Court on November 10, 2024, denied Tasila's appeal request, citing a lack of credible justification for her financial ability to acquire the property. Following the Court of Appeal's decision today, Tasila now has 14 days to file her appeal. Speaking on behalf of the former First family, their lawyer, Charles Changano, confirmed the development, emphasizing that the legal battle remains ongoing.
For Madame Tasila is a cinder farm, and for Madame former First Lady, it's those flats. So in both cases, definitely the Court of Appeal has seen that we have some grounds which are capable of being argued in the Court of Appeal. For Judge Kelvin Muzenga, so he was also granted leave on the same to say that there were prospects of success. And he has been given that time to file notes of appeal within 14 days from today.
Okay.
So in both cases, we have been granted that leave.
For now, the fate of the properties lies with the Court of Appeal, which will decide whether the former First family can clear their name or if the state's forfeiture orders will stand. Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
Still in court news, Mfuwe Member of Parliament Maureen Mabonga has opened a defense in the Lusaka Magistrate Court in a case in which she is charged with 2 counts of seditious practice. The lawmaker recounted alleged threats she and her political associates received, which she says preceded the remarks she made that are now under scrutiny for allegedly inciting violence. Testifying before Magistrate Trevor Kasanda, Ms. Mabonga described a series of incidents, including threats against former President Edgar Lungu and his close associates. She claimed the threats were both direct and indirect, citing an attack on independent PETAUKE Central Member of Parliament EMMANUEL BANDA and an incident where Nakonde MP Lucas Mumba's vehicle's tires were slashed while he was accompanying the former president. Ms. Mabonga presented 3 videos as evidence, alleging that they contained public threats made against Mr. Lungu. She stated that the videos were sourced from social media and news platforms including Facebook and Northwest TV. In her defense, she told the court that she downloaded the videos using a Facebook downloader on her phone, where 3 individuals wearing UPND regalia and speaking at press briefings issued direct threats on the former president and his associates. The matter has been adjourned to November 27, 2024 for continued defense to allow the court to view the said videos. Ms. Mawonga is represented by lawyer Leon Lemba, while the state is being represented by advocate Mildred Muchimba. In this matter, Mawonga is accused of making inflammatory statements between May 25th and May 28th, 2024 in Lusaka after independent PETAUKE Central Member of Parliament EMMANUEL BANDA allegedly went missing. Moving on, but still in court news, the wife of former State House Economic Advisor Hibene Mwinga has testified that the properties and vehicles listed in the charges against her were financed by her husband. Messi Mwinga, 60, has told the Lusaka Magistrate Court that the properties in Salama Park and 2 vehicles, a Toyota Alphard and an Isuzu, were purchased by her husband under HK Farms, a family business. She added that while she managed the Big Bite Butchery and the poultry business under HK Farms, all the money she earned was handed over to her husband. She explained that she was not directly involved in purchasing the properties or vehicles, as her husband handled the transactions, often without informing her. This is in a case in which Hibene Mwinga, Messi, their son Hakantu, and HK Farms are facing 72 counts of corruption-related charges, including possession of properties valued at 14 million kwacha and cash exceeding 238,900 United States dollars. During cross-examination, Messi Mwinga admitted to owning a house in Kafue, explaining that her husband had purchased the plot and built the house in 2024 when Anti-Corruption Commission Legal and Prosecutions Officer Namulezi Chizalila inquired if she had any other property aside from the ones in Salama Park. The defense, led by lawyer James Mataliro, sought an adjournment to November 25th, citing the unavailability of key witnesses to help wrap up defense. The matter has been adjourned to next Monday for continued defense. We now go to Mpika district, where the Department of Immigration in the district has arrested 38 undocumented Ethiopians. Mpika District Commissioner David Siame has commended security personnel for their vigilance and swift action in enforcing the law. Zanis reports that the 38 prohibited immigrants were apprehended after a tip-off from members of the public. Mr. Siame said officers at Mpika Way Bridge had stopped a Lusaka-bound Volvo truck registration number ALP 9152 laden with timber after the driver attempted to bypass the weighbridge. He said the 38 Ethiopian nationals who were concealed in a cargo container scampered after the driver attempted to flee when he was confronted by security personnel. Mr. Siame said 4 more Ethiopians were apprehended in the early hours of yesterday, bringing the total number of those in detention. That story takes us to Livingstone, Southern Province, where police in Livingstone have arrested a 30-year-old accountant for allegedly embezzling over 13 million kwacha from his employer's Heartlands Best. The suspect, identified as Weston Simwambwa Mutumulani, is accused of falsifying financial transactions between November 2021 and October 2024, resulting in the theft of 13,088,668.50 kwacha. According to police investigations, Matubulani manipulated the company's financial system to record false transactions, inflating the quantity of chicken and meat products supplied to customers. Payments for these fictitious transactions were reported redirected into personal and family members' bank and mobile money accounts. Southern Province Commissioner of Police Oxincio Daka confirmed that the stolen funds were used to acquire a range of assets, including motor vehicles, residential properties, cattle, and land. Mr. Daka says among the seized assets include 2 Ford Ranger Raptors valued at 2.3 million kwacha, 400,000 kwacha cash, 170 hectares of land in Kalomo valued at 1 million to 1.2 million kwacha, several residential properties in Livingstone and Choma worth over 2 million kwacha, and 39 head of cattle valued at 390,000 kwacha. Police estimate the total value of the recovered assets at over 6 million kwacha. In connection with the case, several individuals have been arrested, including Matubulani's wife, Doreen Nzolo, who faces charges of receiving stolen property and possessing property suspected to be proceeds of crime. Other family members have also been apprehended for allegedly receiving stolen funds through various bank and mobile money accounts. The primary suspect, Matubulani,
and bring the culprits to book. At the same time, the people that are stealing fertilizer meant for our farmers, I want to indicate here that this season, this farming season, we have reported illegal activity, theft of fertilizer in several districts in the province. In Kalomo, in Choma, in Mazabuka, we've had reports. And we have since recovered a lot of fertilizer. We have since arrested a lot of people. And we are continuing. So I want to warn all those
of young leaders who understand the vital importance of sustainable water use and sanitation. He highlighted that the water quality interventions with BORDA Zambia will start with selected schools and communities, namely Kablonga, Libala, Lusaka Girls, Kamwala, Kamlanga, Chinika, Twashuka, Munali, and Chiwolia Combined Secondary School. Meanwhile, BORDA Zambia Country Director Amanda Malagan called for stronger collaboration in water supply and sanitation in light of the drought that hit the country. She says BORDA Zambia is thrilled to collaborate with Moscow as the two organizations share similar goals.
Zambia supports, we implement nationwide strategies to promote water conservation, but also equipping our communities with the knowledge and tools to manage the resource in a more responsible way, and especially this time as we facing the drought. The first schools that were are included under this MOU will represent the previous participants in the Battle of the Brain competition. Namely, we have Kablonga, we have Libala, Lusaka Girls, Kamwala, Kamlanga, Chinika, Twashuka, Munali, and Chiwolia Combined Secondary Schools.
For us to take a very collaborative approach as stakeholders to this. Addressing these challenges requires that we take a multifaceted approach, extending beyond just organizations like NASCO and BORDA, but to CSOs and other NGOs, as well as communities that we engage with. These strategic partnerships are essential for driving meaningful change. These effective partnerships and linkages amongst WASH stakeholders are crucial for tackling Zambia's water and sanitation challenges. The drought has, of course, exacerbated these issues, underscoring the need for collaborative action. As
Muvita Silumesi thanked Mr. Mbangweta for the gesture and assured him that the classroom block would be well taken care of. Meanwhile, Shishamba Ward Councillor David Mbambe urged the community and school management to safeguard the structure from vandalism. Details in this report.
With the long sufferings, pupils and parents of Shungwaenda area in Kaima district has over the years crippled with inadequate classroom space as they used poor and mud classes. This prompted the community of Shungwaenda to appeal for the construction of a classroom block at the school to address the long sufferings pupils used to encounter when learning. In attending to the needs of the community of Shungwaenda, the local authority responded by constructing a 1x3 classroom block equipped with desks using the 2023 Constituency Development Fund. Speaking when he presented the new structure to the community and the school management, in Kaima Member of Parliament Kapero Mbangweta urged community members not to take their children for farming, but to let them be at school. Mr. Mbangweta further appealed to the local authority to work extra hard by delivering development to the community.
Banana mubalisele vae kwa sikolo, vatae fafa sikolo, vae kwa likolo kubalokela kukena, musike mwa vaisa kwa kulima, musike mwa vaisa kwa kwenda likwai. Lubata kulibanana baitute kona mutomo ni puso ya kamuso. Please work very hard so that we deliver to the people. In the new year, we are likely to be exerting a lot of pressure on you. It's not that we don't like yourselves, but the people here in the field, what they want are services. Let's make sure that the contractors that we pick, they deliver the projects on time with very little disagreements and the clarity of what needs to be done, so that if we can deliver to the people, all of us will be better off.
Representative of the Council Secretary briefly spoke about the project value, while the District Education Board Secretary has this to say.
I wish to mention that this school was constructed using under 2023 CDF funds at a total sum of 608,884,000 kwacha. This is in line with the government policy so that our pupils can have a conducive learning environment.
We are moving from poor and mud, we are going into beautiful structures. I would like to pledge that together we will take care of this classroom.
Meanwhile, Shishamba Ward Councillor urged community members to guard the structure against vandalism.
Community members, this 1x3 classroom block today will be left in our hands and under our care. Let's guard it jealously and not allow anyone to vandalize it.
Kabila Camnet News, Shungwaenda area, Kaima district, Western Province.
Musia Wakabila with that report from Mongu, which takes us to our first set of commercials. But do join us for sports and international news when we come back. Please do stay tuned.
At Rwandair, every flight is a journey of commitment. We prioritize the transportation of our customers' goods. Our cold storage facilities maintain freshness for perishables throughout the journey. Our warehouse is designed to handle a diverse range of goods with care and efficiency. Our team is committed to ensuring every aspect of your shipment is handled with precision and care. We comply with industry standards, implementing rigorous quality control measures to guarantee the safety and security of your cargo. Our fleet's cargo compartments provide ample space to accommodate a variety of products. We commit to timely delivery, ensuring your goods arrive fresh. From safely handling your cargo to providing updates, our team is always here for you.
Potatoes, the unsung heroes of flavor. From crispy chips to creamy mash, potatoes are the versatile superstars of your kitchen. Grown with love by our dedicated workforce drawn from around the community of Palavana. Savenda Farm's commitment is to see to it that we have potatoes that are grown right, healthy, big and tasty. For that quick fix or big celebration or that meal that brings family together, top chefs rely on the Savenda potato to create culinary masterpieces. And for others, it's that icebreaker to a delightful conversation. So, embrace the and soul of your kitchen. Savenda, save nations, develop Africa.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our Zesco units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962 642 490 or email jnbanda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. Renglow, your smart irrigation partner.
Enjoy the benefits of an instant loan with us ranging from 1,000 kwacha to 750,000 kwacha paid express once collateral is viewed, valued and verified. Call us on 0763 595 359 or 0779 432 993. Classified Financial Express, here as your financial friend.
Welcome back to the Camnet TV News Desk, and thank you so much for still choosing to be with us this evening. And now, in international news, the wife of prominent Ugandan opposition figure Kizza Besigye said on Wednesday he was kidnapped during a book launch in Kenya on the weekend and has been transferred to a military jail in Kampala. The physician and politician has run and lost against incumbent President Yoweri Museveni in 4 presidential polls since 1986. Although he has rejected the results alleging fraud and voter intimidation. In a post on X, Besigye's wife, Winnie Byanyima, who is an executive director of UniAIDS, called for his immediate release and said his family and lawyers demanded to see him. Here's a roundup of international news.
Prominent Ugandan opposition figure Kizza Besigye voting in the 2016 presidential election. One of 4 disputed polls in which he ran and lost to incumbent President Yoweri Museveni. Now his wife says that the physician and politician was kidnapped during a Byanyima, who's executive director of UNAIDS, said on X that his family and lawyers were demanding to see him and questioned why he was being held in an army facility. One of his lawyers has since confirmed Besigye's detention, saying his client would appear in a military court for an initial hearing later on Wednesday. Several of his supporters and party officials gathered at Makinja Barracks in Kampala in anticipation of his appearance. Besigye, who's been arrested dozens of times before, was Museveni's personal doctor in the 1980s when the now president was still a rebel leader. But he's since become a vocal critic of the president's authoritarian rule. Museveni's government has been accused of repeated human rights violations against opposition leaders and supporters, accusations it has denied. Scenes of destruction in the Lebanese capital Beirut after the latest Israeli airstrike which hit an area near Parliament and the UN headquarters. In the south, 4 Ghanaian peacekeepers were wounded when a rocket hit their base, likely fired, the UN said, by a non-state actor. It says peacekeepers and facilities were targeted in 3 separate incidents on Tuesday.
If military activities are carried out in the vicinity of UN position, then that is putting UN peacekeepers in danger. That is putting them at risk, and this is what we impress upon all parties. The
US draft proposal to end the war, which has been ongoing for more than 13 months.
Carrying her infant daughter, 19-year-old Thisulisiwe Moyo waited for 2 hours to get birth control pills from a tent pitched near a village in Zimbabwe's capital, Harare. The outreach clinic is made possible by funding from the US government. It is important to be on contraceptives so as to avoid unplanned pregnancies which can force one to have an abortion. It is important to space births and use family planning methods. But the services might soon stop if US President-elect Donald Trump acts on his threat to cut off funding for services that women around the world rely on to avoid pregnancy, as well as for health care unrelated to abortion.
My fear is that when the global gag rule is reinstated, it's going to be expanded. Project 25, talking about expansion of the global gag rule, talking about expanding into governments, to organizations, to everyone who is receiving USAID funding. And that will have actually devastating effects in terms of access to sexual reproductive health services for women, in terms of choice for women.
Anglin Mokanya is getting a birth control implant to protect her from pregnancy for the next 5 years. She's already struggling to support her 3 children with the $100 she earns as a hairstylist. It's unfortunate that we are so far away from America, yet we're being caught in the crossfire of its politics. All we want is the freedom to space our births and be able to access free family planning services. Many NGOs in African countries rolled back services including clinics, contraception and support for sex workers during Trump's first term in office.
And finally, in sports news this evening, the Zambia national soccer team coach, Avram Grant, says the team has shown character by qualifying for the Morocco 2025 Africa Cup of Nations AFCON and finishing top of the Group G ahead of African champions Cote d'Ivoire. Grant said in a post-match interview that the players maintained discipline and professionalism in the team's 2-0 victory over Sierra Leone despite having already qualified for the AFCON. He expressed happiness that the team has improved since losing the first qualifier against Cote d'Ivoire and qualified for Africa's continental showpiece despite missing key players.